Read every word. Don't skim this. Because if this doesn't punch you in the gut and wake you up, nothing will. You think it's harmless? You think borrowing money is just a little help. Just temporary. Just until you figure things out. But here's the reality. Every time you borrow, a piece of you dies. You don't feel it at first. You think it's normal. Everybody does it. But deep down, you know what it really is. A silent admission that you're not in control of your life. And let me tell you something most men will never say out loud. Borrowing money is one of the most emasculating experiences a man can go through. Because money is power. And when you beg for it, you surrender that power. You put yourself on your knees, in a world that respects only those who stand tall. The first cut is silent. The first time you ask, it feels strange. Your pride resists. Your gut tightens. But you push through, because you need it. And that's how it starts. Not with an explosion, but a whisper. Just this once. And once turns into twice. And twice turns into a habit. Until one day, you wake up and realize something terrifying. You've become that guy. The guy who waits for the next payday to pay back the last favor. The guy who avoids calls because he owes half the people in his contacts. The guy who can't look another man in the eye, because his word means nothing. You lose more than money. You think it's about the cash. It's not. It's about your soul. When you borrow, you don't just take someone else's money. You take their control over you. Now they own a piece of your pride. A piece of your freedom. A piece of your manhood. And they might never say it. They might act cool. But they'll never look at you the same again. And worse, you'll never look at yourself the same again. Every time you owe, you shrink. Your confidence fades. Your voice gets softer. Your handshake gets weaker. Because in the back of your mind, one thought eats you alive. I'm not standing on my own. Nobody respects a man who borrows. Not your friends. Not your woman. Not the people you owe. They might smile. Act kind. Pretend it's no big deal. But inside, they've categorized you. They've labeled you. And the label burns. He can't handle his life. And don't fool yourself, women feel this deeply. You think she's okay with it? You think she doesn't notice your desperation when you borrow to impress her? She notices. She feels it in her bones. Because a woman's primal instinct is to feel safe with a man who can provide, protect, and lead. And a man who borrows, he's signaling the opposite. Instability. Weakness. Chaos. And no amount of smooth talk, fancy clothes, or fake confidence can hide that. The silent death of self-respect. Here's what nobody tells you. When you borrow, you don't just lose their respect, you lose your own. You start avoiding mirrors. Not physically, but mentally. You stop dreaming big because you don't feel worthy. You stop taking risks because you don't trust yourself. And soon, you settle. For average. For crumbs. For a life you once swore you'd never live. Because you've chained yourself to dependence. And dependence kills men from the inside out. Why does it hurt so much? Because deep down, you know what you were designed for. Dominion. Control. Strength. Every fiber of your being was built to create. To lead. To conquer. Not to beg. Not to borrow. Not to live on another man's terms. When you borrow, you betray that primal code. You step out of alignment with what you were meant to be. And the shame you feel? That's not society judging you. That's your soul screaming at you. This is not who we are. You can't live like this. If you're reading this and you're in that cycle, stop lying to yourself. Stop saying, it's just temporary. I'll pay it back soon. They understand. No. They don't understand. And even if they do, your soul doesn't. You cannot build a life on borrowed ground, because every debt you take is a hole in your foundation. And one day, the weight of it will crush everything you're trying to build. The way out. You want to reclaim your pride? Here's the truth. You don't need more excuses. You need discipline. You need ownership. You need to bleed for your own bread instead of sucking the life out of someone else's. Start small. Cut every unnecessary expense. Stop chasing validation. Stop trying to look rich when you're broke. Stop competing with people who don't even notice you. And then, outwork everyone. Pick up the shifts. Pick up the side hustle. Pick up the damn bricks if you have to. Because nothing feels heavier than shame, and nothing feels lighter than knowing you don't owe anyone a cent. Why this matters more than money? Because it's not about the cash. It's about your identity. The man who borrows becomes a slave. The man who earns becomes a king. And here's the truth most men will never swallow. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares about your struggles. They only care about results. And as long as you're on your knees borrowing, you will never command respect. Not from the world. Not from your woman. And not from yourself. Final word. If this hurt, good. It was supposed to. Because sometimes pain is the only thing strong enough to wake a man up. So wake up. Stand up. And make a promise you will never break. I will never be that man again. Bleed for your money. Bleed for your freedom. Bleed for your self-respect. Because the shame of borrowing is not just financial. It's spiritual. And if you let it, it will kill everything that makes you a man.